Hi, welcome to this edition of On Tap, presented by FCSI the Americas. I'm Wade Kaler, Executive Director. On Tap this week, I have the pleasure to talk to an FCSI member that I've been waiting to sit down and talk with for a while now. I admire his passion for the food service industry and his home country of Ukraine. He's a 2020 Management Excellent Award winner for FER Magazine, and amongst many others. Please welcome the president of Scopos Hospitality Group, Mr. Andrey Teleguz. Hi, Andre. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. As I said before, we've known each other, we've talked to each other a couple of times, but really never had a chance to sit down and have a beer or anything else yet. So I've been really looking forward to having this conversation, and especially I know at the NRA show we briefly talked, and I've been hearing so many great stories about what you're doing that I'm really excited to learn more about things today and hear all the great things that you've been doing, not only in the food service industry but on the humanitarian effort as well. So but before we get to all the good stuff, if, I guess you will, people do want to know, a little bit more about Andre and his background. So if we could just get this started off with, tell us a little bit about your background in food service and how you got your start as a food service consultant.
Yeah, so it actually goes back to our humble beginnings arriving to this country as an immigrant. So we came here to the States as a large family. So I have five brothers and five sisters. And,
Wow.
our parents, gave us the opportunity to come here. They couldn't necessarily give all of us higher education and things like that. It was up to us to pursue that. So
Yeah.
during high school, what I started is actually I got myself a full time job, but I was in school. So when was that job? That was third shift. So I literally from work I went every day to high school. That was my career, and what I was doing, I was actually building cabinetry. So I worked at a big millwork shop that was producing cabinetry in bulk, and I started liking that industry. So I was enjoying building kitchens, and then when I got married, I got a AM job, so I got a real job in the morning at another millwork shop, and that was really going well. But then 9/11 happened, that high end industry took a dump, and I decided to get a design and drafting degree, and
Okay.
graduated that. And my externship was with Clark Food Service Equipment, so
Okay.
they hired me as a drafter, and I worked myself up through project management and then worked into their design department and really learned the industry. I got to do it with my hands. So I actually built cabinetry, then I installed the food service
Yeah.
equipment, and I really learned it from the back end and really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. It's like, wow, I enjoy doing this. So maybe I can do this for a living. Maybe I can start my company. And in 2009, I quit and started Scopos.
Well, very cool. That's a very unique way of getting started. I know a lot of people have worked in restaurants. I don't know many people have started by building the cabinets that would go in some of the restaurants and then worked into it. So that's very, very cool. So 2009, you started your company. Is there any special segments or parts of the industry that you specialize in with Scopos?
So a lot of healthcare, senior living, corporate dining, some specialty projects.
Okay.
That's kind of our niche. As I'm sure you'd probably recognize some of the projects that we did in senior living. That is a big
Yeah.
sector for us.
Yeah. One of the questions I've been asking this year that I'm excited to find out more about, and I think it's a very good learning experience for anybody thinking of a career change, regardless of their age, or anybody coming out of hospitality school, is when you got started as a food service consultant, either working for Clark or even when you're or on your own. How long did it take you before you felt proficient at it, or you felt like, yeah, I'm pretty good at this, or I've got a pretty good grasp on what I'm doing now?
I think it took me about a year, but at the same time, I consider myself to be the best designer and the best, detailer because actually, even when I was working at Clark before leaving, I was the guy, I was the nerd. I was the nerd that I was at that time. 3D was not that much relevant. And at that
Mhm.
time, Autodesk just purchased Revitize or the Revit
Okay.
program. So they were just implementing all of that. But I was already at that time doing a lot of 3D and incorporating things. So I was the nerd at Clark and really trying to push that design and elevating that. So when I left, how long did it took to me to learn maybe how to do it myself and not have the senior support? I think it probably took me about a year.
Okay. Very good. Well, you mentioned it. You led me into the next question for you very easily. Thank you very much without even knowing it. Um, with Revit and 3D design, I know that you're heavily involved with that. How has that changed over the last couple of years for you with your clients? And kind of on a follow up to that is where do you, well, one, do you see it lasting for permanently? And if so, where is it going to go, do you think next?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there used to be a time where we actually charged extra for the 3D work or 3D renderings and animations. We're at
Hmm.
a point now that that's actually basic services, part of the basic
Oh, wow.
process. Because what we find is we might even internally benefit much more than the client will, because
Okay.
we are literally installing the virtual installation of the project, and we're detailing that. And then what's also kind of different about us is we also do branding, we also do interior design. So all bringing all of those disciplines together, integrating, and see how the finishes
Yeah.
start, stop, and where does the branding go, and all of those components. It's really crucial. Where it's going to go next, I mean, it's augmented reality is what we're playing
Yeah.
right now, and I think that's
Okay.
going to take off.
Very, very cool. What has the reaction been from some of your clients when they've seen the 3D renderings, or and now at this point some of the augmented reality you're going into?
They're just in awe. I mean, their statement is like, "Wow, I've never seen anybody present like this," or "Wow, I feel like I'm inside, the space."
Yeah,
And just what it does is really we walk away from meetings with full buy-in, right?
yeah,
Because there's no hesitation from the client. They feel like they understand what they're getting and what the design will be and what the end product will be.
absolutely. Well, with all that's being said, is there in since 2009, so quite a few years now of owning Scopos, is there a specific project or two that come to mind when you think of some of the ones either you're first or most proud of or most challenging, whatever it might be?
Yeah, actually, it just so happens we're wrapping up a really cool project that it took a while to get here, but so we wrapping up our San Francisco 49ers, their performance training facility,
Oh,
and
oh, cool.
we actually designed and started construction pre-pandemic. Okay, so
Oh, wow.
pre-pandemic, like a week before when the pandemic really hit, demo started, and we pulled out ovens and everything like that and was supposed to start. But then everybody realized, like, time out, this is not a good time to go through a construction process. So they actually put the equipment back in, and we picked
Oh,
up that
jeez.
construction just earlier this year. And we just are finishing our installation. What's cool about that project is the same thing. We did the whole thing. We did the branding, environmental graphics, the interior design, and the food service design. So it really kind of showed our capabilities of how a full, cohesive project can come together.
Yeah. That's very cool. Is that their practice facilities and such? Is that what you said?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Well, congratulations. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the photos and videos of that. Then that'll be
Yeah.
cool to see.
We should get it published.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that being said, then over the last 3 years, some things have changed with designs and such. Has COVID done anything, or I know we ran into some temporary stuff throughout COVID, with the sneeze guards and things of that nature that kind of went a little overboard at times. Have you seen any permanent designs come out of COVID now that are moving on that have stuck? Or if most of your designs and projects kind of gone back to where it was before?
I think some of it went back. I mean, there was a big push against salad bars, but we now see them coming back again.
Yeah.
But I think that there are some positive things that stayed, and are continue to implement in our design. So what we try to do is start breaking up our designs into more micro venues, smaller
Okay.
venues that are not necessarily attached to each other, but spread out. And the other piece, since we do interior design, which is also relevant to us,
Right.
intricate and private zones and partitions and things like that, so it doesn't feel like it's a big vast space.
Oh, nice. I like that. So you talked about coming over as a family. You came over to the United States from Ukraine at age 9, I believe. Tell me how adjustment to life was like in the U.S. when you got here in 1990.
It was tough. I mean, I was 9. We came here. We did not speak any English. They threw us in school, and learn it, right. And like I mentioned before, family of
Yeah,
11. I'm somewhere in the middle. It was tough, and what also made tough is we moved around. We initially came to Pennsylvania, moved to Oregon, moved to Virginia, and then came back to Pennsylvania. So a lot of breakup, not necessarily being able
wow,
to get rooted, get friends, establish those connections. But I think part of that
yeah,
is what built my character, my independence to be strong and kind of face anything.
yeah,
Because really, fleeing the former Soviet Union, Ukraine, we lived in Vienna, we lived in Rome, and then came, to the States, and
yeah,
all of that kind of built, I think, who I am and today.
yeah. What so let's talk about Ukraine a little bit, because again, as I said, I admire what you've been doing, and I don't think probably a lot of our audience won't know this about you, but hopefully it'll help in down the road as well. But in the past year, with the war in Ukraine going on, or according to the Putin, not a war, but nonetheless, you've raised almost $1 million for those in need, for Ukrainian refugees. Tell us about how that got started, and kind of where it's going, and where it will continue to go.
Yeah. So when the war started, or the invasion started, I know special operation.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
Second day into it, myself and a business partner of another business, we got together and said, "Listen, we have to do something. We're Ukrainians." The first 2 days, we were in shock and just disbelief, because maybe something also that maybe
Yeah.
not everybody knows. My wife is Russian. So here we are, Ukraine, Russia, and
Oh.
this is happening, right? And then my kids are American because they were born here, right? So we have this mix of experiences and
Yeah.
feelings, and the first 2 days we were in shock, but the second day we got together, and it's like we have to do something, because um, we knew that there's going to be a huge, massive humanitarian crisis. So immediately we felt called to action,
Yeah.
and we took steps, and you know, we immediately actually booked a full summer camp in Poland, anticipating a lot of refugees fleeing, which that was in operation for a couple months. Um, and then started creating all these other programs where we could meet refugees, help them get across, get them set up, have them move on. We started collecting containers. So to date, we shipped 5 containers from Ephrata. We purchased 7 vehicles to transport food
Wow.
in Ukraine through our fund. And we distributed, to date, we distributed about 240 tons of food in Ukraine. So purchasing now locally, distribution, creating
Wow.
personal
That's
care
amazing.
packages, and things like that. So it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work running the business, plus doing this after hours,
Yeah.
and late nights, and,
Yeah.
and calls, and scheduling,
Yeah.
and all that.
Well, congratulations to you, and kudos to you for such an amazing effort. And we'll make sure at the very end of the episode we put up how people can get more information or offer support, either financially or labor, or whatever it might be, donations in kind or whatever. At the end of the episode, we'll put something up so people can get more to you and get more help to those people that need it, in an unbelievable crisis that's going on. So again, kudos to you, and hopefully the marriage is still going well, and so we don't have your own little war going on at home.
Yeah, everyone's like, "So how's dinner?" It's like, no.
um, so throughout this career, though, you've been involved with a lot of projects. I know a lot of the consultants and a lot of the people and players in the industry. Is there anybody in particular that's had a greater influence on your career so far?
Well, I mean, I think Fred Clark, he recently has been admitted to the Hall of Fame. I always admired the man,
Yeah.
right? He really, I
Yeah.
think he thought outside of the box.
Right.
I worked for him for 5 years, right? Closely, especially before this big boom that they
Hmm.
experienced, and I feel like I learned from him. There's certainly influence that he had on me to think outside the
Yeah.
box, to think not just tunnel vision. Hey, this is all I do, and this is it. And this is kind of what Scopus is. We provide all those other
Yeah.
components. We do culinary operational consulting, we do branding, we do food service, we do
Yeah.
interior design. So being able to kind of think of cohesive, full package, full services. So I will accredit that to Fred Clark, that he really has inspired and motivated me for the industry.
Nice. What's one thing about Andre people would never guess about you after sitting down and talking with you? Like some little secret or hobby or habit?
I am an artist. I used to play soccer in high school as well,
Okay.
but I do painting. I do oil painting is a passion of mine. It runs in the family. We're all artists and very creative. Maybe
Nice.
maybe perhaps that's also why I had this desire of design and consulting. um, but uh, but yeah,
Nice. What's I know you've got a large firm. You've brought a lot of people in of various backgrounds and experiences. What's one piece of advice you give to anyone thinking, whether they're coming out of hospitality school, whether they're thinking about a career change? What's one piece of advice you give to somebody about coming becoming a food service consultant?
hands-on experience first. Because I really also credited that when we started working with architects, it was like, wow, your millwork details look really good, right? Where did that come from? Well, I built cabinetry. So we
Yeah.
detailed and designed things that could actually get fabricated, right? And that was a strong point. And I accredit that
Hmm.
from
Yeah.
Willow plus my experience at Clark. I installed food service equipment. So when we configured something, my mind was working. Could somebody build this? Could somebody install this? Does it work? Does it fit? So that hands-on
Yeah.
experience was very crucial, fundamental foundation for Scopus.
Well, that's all the formal questions I've got for you today. But before we let you go, I like to have a little bit of fun, and I've got a set of would you rather questions. So we'll just dig right into that. The first one is: would you rather buy 10 items you don't need every time you go to the store, or forget the one item that you do need every time you go to the store?
Buy extra.
Okay. Would you rather have a personal maid or a personal chef?
Personal chef. 100%.
Okay. Very good. Would you rather be an extra in an Oscar winning movie or a lead in a box office bomb?
Extra.
Extra, okay. Would you rather be able to watch nothing but Hallmark Christmas movies for the rest of your life or nothing but horror movies for the rest of your
Ugh,
life?
I'll have to live with the hallmark.
Okay.
My wife would enjoy that.
Would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your life?
Rewind.
Would you rather personally win $25,000 or have your best friend win $100,000?
Best friend win $100,000.
Nice. Would you rather be in a zombie apocalypse or a robot
A
apocalypse?
robot apocalypse, because I could probably reprogram them.
Very good. I like that. Would you rather give up your cell phone for a month or give up bathing for a month?
Cell phone.
Okay. Nobody's given up bathing still. Every person so far has
Sanitation is
been
crucial, especially post-pandemic,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. Would you rather be able to speak any language or be able to communicate with animals?
Speak any language.
Would you rather always have an annoying song stuck in your head or always have an itch that you can't reach?
Annoying song.
Okay. Would you rather read the book or watch the movie?
Ah, easier to watch a movie nowadays, yes.
Especially with all that quote unquote free
Yeah,
time that you have. Exactly. Um, would you rather own your own theme park or own your own zoo?
own my own zoo.
Okay. Now you want to talk to animals, don't you?
Well,
Would you rather be compelled to high five everyone you meet or be compelled to give a wedgie to anyone in a green shirt?
high five.
Okay. Would you rather have a completely automated home or a self driving car?
Completely automated home.
All right. And the last one, would you rather be able to go to any theme park in the world for free for the rest of your life or be able to eat for free at any drive through restaurant for the rest of your life?
Eat free through any drive-through because then my trips, my projects, phew, that's hate.
Well, very good. That's all I've got for you today, Andre. But before we let you go, tell everybody how they can find out more information about you and Scopos.
Go to scoposag.com and you can look us up there. I'm sure you'll be able to find me there and reach out to us. Info@scoposag.com. Glad to help.
Very good. Well, that wraps up this edition of On Tap presented by FCSI the Americas. A huge thank you to Andrey Teleguz for joining us today on the show. Be sure to like and subscribe whatever platform you use. And as always, cheers.